Hey guys, this is Colin Dawson with Lockdown Movie Reviews, and I'll be honest, I'm going to be bringing you an in-depth look at how the House of Gucci. I even have my cheating cell phone here with me to help me out because this is such a complex, great movie that you do need to see, and it's probably one of those sleeper hits that'll somehow show up in the Oscars. That people are like, when did I not go and see that? Why didn't I? Well, you should have. And I'm here to tell you why. Lady Gaga truly does embody Patricia Reginetti. And if I mess up the names, I'm completely sorry. She totally separates herself in look, manner, demeanor from her onstage personality as a singer and truly encompasses as an actress the role that she was meant to play. I'm sure we'll be seeing her in a few other movies coming down the road. This has also got a ton of great cast members: Jared Leto, Adam Driver, Selma Hayek, Al Pacino, Jeremy Irons, Jack Houston, and many more. And I have to tell you, it is absolutely fabulous in every way. It is awesome in every way. Whether you want to say there's adjectives that should be put in there, find your adjective and put it in. This goes through a lot of the unknown situations of Italian culture and situations after World War II that move all the way up until right now. And goes through the intricate natures of individual people and the individual culture of that which is Italian culture and family. And while some of the greatest parts of the acting, I have to say, are in the early courtship and the great parts that it shows in and of everything, it even shows the political nature after World War II, moving through with the different ways they had to make deals with the Pope and everything, such as no pastels, no browns, the cows that they had um, right after the war that were given to them, and that all their leather came from, and how it's very down home, very unique and wonderful experience of a family. In the cinematography, it shows a broad range of open and inclusive areas as it moves from pool areas and little wrestling um, scrums for sports and everything else, and soccer, over to small alleys going into church, open areas of ski resorts, and then down to smaller, more family and even personal situations. And it does show this throughout the cinematography and the director and directing. I think that a lot of the lines that are delivered are very poignant, and it shows even a personal situation in through there. And while there's a lot of scenes that are shown in this very long movie, it shows everything very good, from lighting and everything over to the makeup and the individual conversations back and forth through, showing an all encompassing area back to the individual and family. This is brought up so much in everything. Now, while people will say, it's another mob movie, it's not another mob movie. If it is, I will say there were some lawyers in it. There was the wonderful scene where it showed them coming into the dark alley, kind of like underneath the bridge where the knockoffs were at, and Patricia found it and brought it to their family's attention. It shows the reuniting after prison for a couple of them on, you know, finance charges and bank charging and stuff. Okay, there's your situation on it. It shows that there is law, legalisms, the feud between the family, and it does culminate in basically a wonderful lover's quarrel that ends with an assassination of one of the last members of the House of Gucci on the board, which none of them are on the board anymore. And I do have to say, I can see how they came back and forth. They violated a lot of their personal vows, their personal codes, everything else. They never wanted to be seen in malls. They wanted to have things larger than life. And in and of itself, they were a very simple family. One of them was wealthy after acting and found a place for himself and met his wife, which led to Maurizio Gucci, who married Patricia. And in it, his father says, no, not this girl. No, no. So he goes to her family's house right in front and begs for a job, says he has no money, and that his intentions are true to marry her. And I just have to say, man moment and a half for both ways out there over it. And then you have the uncle that wants to come in and be the uncle that reunites the family, and it's like, so when was the last time you touched someone? When was the last time? Just give me a hug. And he goes and he hugs his brother. Things are settled between them, and they have a happy life for a while. I could say there's all sorts of things out there with it, but this movie is absolutely wonderful to go and see. There's a few other things that, unless you know about Italian culture after World War II, where Patricia says to the police, I am here to help you. How can I help you? I won't go into it that deep or anything here, but if you know about it, you know about it. And this is probably where the movie takes its turn for Gucci turning on Gucci. The family has it all, just needs to ride it out. No one needs to turn on anybody. And I'll be honest, Patricia shows every bit of what a real woman is, that respects men and everything. And other than one moment where it seems that she's fighting with a power of wills shortly after that moment with the police for tax evasion and stuff in Italy, and then goes and meets her husband in San Marino Principality, where they can stay at. I do have to say, it is very, very, very interesting over it. And she has this moment where it's almost like battles of wills, and like she's almost forced to say this one thing. And it's probably the only thing that she ever said, but in society and marriage, as a woman, you can't really say that. And, you can say she was mad, things were like that. And it leads to the separation and what eventually leads to the end of the movie. And while it is a very good dramatic situation, one has to realize, as a real woman who is devoted to her husband, when she tells the judge, you'll address me as Miss Gucci. You just have to realize when it comes home, right then, as she is a very wonderful, protective person. And you can pick up on this very quickly, that she's a real woman's woman. And you kind of wonder if the fortune teller that she talks to is taking advantage of her, or is she taking advantage of her? She goes through everything and does everything a wife should do. She satisfies her husband. She does everything to try and be part of the family and go to it, just like how the uncle goes, come to New York, become part of the family. And as it is, more and more, she protects the family name, the family business, right up until heartbreaks and the possibility of having to share her man with somebody. And I could even say that in the grand nature of Italian culture, the one scene from the previews everybody's seen where she's tapping the coffee cup and says, "But I think that I am fair," or says, "But I am fair." There's another one of those situations over progression of everything throughout the movie and the subtle culturistic cues and do's and don'ts that are all around there that you have to know if you're ever in Italy for any reason really does show screaming through. And with a lot of people, I understand, with there being so much culture in it, they may feel a little lost, may go, I don't really understand this. Don't understand it as part of what is USA, other than that there are people that come here and do business in the USA. Understand it as someone that you're going to know separate from the USA. And in a way, I think it's a beautiful part of history and everything. And I'll probably be doing something major on it. And we'll probably even see something in colleges taught from this movie. No different than people would have The Matrix for review or any other in depth situation over culture and education or deeper meanings in cinematography class, storytelling class, or English class, English lit even. It's probably going to be up there probably one day with something from Shakespeare. This is Colin Dawson with Lockdown Movie Reviews.